Hello, Millimeter Base, MicheleMarieDalene, and it is the, I think it's the 8th. Yes, it's the 8th today. And today, of course, is, it's Thursday morning, and we're supposed to have the soup kitchen. I'm going to go to the soup kitchen today for lunch. I don't have an appointment yet scheduled for me and my case manager at this point, so I don't know when we're going to meet again because we never made the appointment for next week. Today we're doing some testing, empirical testing with the T-Mobile data thingy in the typical applications of what we'd use it for, to see how much data per day we generate. I already know from looking at the data from this morning, and I did some of the testing yesterday too, but this time will be an all-day test. I didn't really use a lot of my actual binge on data. I used maybe about 1.5 gigabytes, but the actual data a lot of that was data stash. So the actually came out to be 1.55 megabytes. That is actually going against my quota. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I was able about 5.40 gigabytes on my data stash, so it's not like I'm short of data. I can actually do a lot today. We're going to be doing a video demo in a couple of days. I gotta wait for it to come. I ordered originally this item from one company, and then they ended up not coming because they contacted me and said they couldn't find the item in the warehouse and are sending me a refund. The other item from another company, it's the same model. Hopefully that'll be here. And we'll be able to do a demo. I've seen some video demos of it. The problem is they don't actually explain crap. All it is a guy just showing how it plugs in and all that, and with crappy music. One video was in Russian, which didn't even talk again. It was just a 6-minute demo of a guy unplugging it into his computer. And it didn't really explain anything. So we're going to be coming up with our own little demo for this Vonet's Mini 300 bridge and repeater device. It also acts as an access point as well, so you can actually use it in 3 modes. You can use it as repeater mode, bridge mode, and access point mode. And I've got a perfect use for that. What I'm talking about is if you have an older Raspberry Pi 2, you will know that if you want to use it with Wi-Fi, you need to use it with a bridge. This is good is powered by USB. You don't have to worry about buying something that has to be independently powered from the system. So if your USB hub for your Raspberry Pi, your self-powered hub is strong enough for it, it can power this, it can power your Raspberry Pi along with your other drives and things like that. I certainly got that. So mine can actually produce about 60 watts of power. So believe me, my little internet thing can power just fine. I want to show you something here right now. Thanks to T-Mobile. Yep. We are actually on the internet with this right now at the whole houses. Almost all the computers in my house have 802.11b, NG, and N capabilities. Unfortunately, my older Power Mac G5 doesn't have N. But it's got G anyway. The iPhone 3GS, I used to have only did G. My iPhone 4S does do N, and the BlackBerry only does G. And I have the Alcatel Astro Pop, which is my girlfriend's phone, does N as well. So it's pretty good reason. Does it do the 5 gigahertz range? I think that's in the AC category. No, the MiFi does, but nothing else does. I think my home internet may too, but I'm not sure. So we're going to be testing this empirically because we want to see how this really affects everything and get a good idea this month, kick the tires, and really give it a good workout and make the item and see how well it does for everyday applications such as streaming videos, YouTube. Well, I already know it does a good job streaming video, but but want to see how good it does on everyday work, because streaming is not really a big deal. I don't do a lot of anything else. We want to talk briefly about this. I'm going to talk about this for a second, because there's when T-Mobile changed their network designed to make it compatible with AT&T iPhones back when they still weren't carrying their own. They changed the way their network worked for the 1900. Originally, their 3G tower support was on 2100, and now, of course, it's on 1900. And unfortunately for me, my little T-Mobile BlackBerry doesn't recognize the 3G at 1900, so it's only stuck with 2G. So let's talk about this 2G thing for a second. What does this mean? Well, it means, in short, let me unlock my phone here. This is not good for typing with one hand. Fortunately, my password they set up is one-handed, so I can get into this. Alright, and it means right now, and you can't see it on the screen, because right now it's using this T-Mobile broadband box over here, is when I get on, it only gives me 2G edge. It doesn't go 3G. Okay? It doesn't go 3G because it can't do 3G, because the 3G used to be at 2100 megahertz. It's not there anymore. So it's because the 3G is now on 1900. Which would be great if this is an AT&T BlackBerry, but this has got another nice feature I like with this BlackBerry, and that is, because it is a T-Mobile BlackBerry, it also does voice, it has UMA support, which means that I can also use it to do voice over Wi-Fi. So voice calling over Wi-Fi goes through on this as well. That's a really big thing, especially, unfortunately, when I'm at McDonald's, McDonald's is mostly made out of steel and brick, and it acts as like a giant Faraday cage. And so let's just lock this thing up here. Yeah. So McDonald's acts like a giant Faraday cage, and that's a real problem, because I can't get my T-Mobile signal won't come in through the window, and it's actually, when it does come in through the window where I'm sitting, the signal is extremely weak, so I never actually get a chance to make phone calls with it, because it just is too weak. So that's when I used the MiFi. And then it sounds, and what it was is apparently whoever was the administrator with this thing had one smart cookie. I'm going to talk about this, especially with T-Mobile, or especially with McDonald's MiFis. Okay, you try to easily connect into McDonald's MiFi, and you get that website, right, that says get connected, right? What does this stupid thing do is the administrator has set up on this so that it says, I'm sorry, you cannot access this MiFi against company policy. Like, as I said, I don't know who originally had this. Maybe somebody from the NSA had this, I don't know. Anyway, so I can, but it's a little bit of a convoluted, royal pain in my ass. So here's an interesting trick you can do. The little tiny Vonets thingy we're going to be demoing. I'm going to show you an intro. I did some of this because I could do some of this testing ahead of time. This thing here can power this. Okay? In other words, I've showed you this one before. I gotta watch out for the cord here. Battery's full anyway. If you... And yes, Android devices. Let me just unplug this here. Yeah. Oops. While this is still on, I can plug the little tiny mini 300 box in here and get power. And even though it's plugged into the mains right now, okay, it'll still power the thing through the little orange cord. I mean, you want to use the existing orange cord dongle instead of plugging in a new end, which you can replace this end. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. You don't have to use this end. It just, make sure I get this right here. It just unplugs like this. So this is a little thingy dingy. Kind of cute, kind of simple, kind of dirty. Sorry about that. It does get dirty because it's, it's almost always is wrapped around. It's kind of neat. It's a little cheap thing like that, and it does work. So yeah, it plugs in to and it wraps around. I don't like this. By the way, if you ever wonder where the SD card goes, it goes right here on the side. If you ever want to use an SD card for this, it goes in right here, and there's where the LM plugs in. So it plugs in like this, and then. Also, Big Clive is going to answer questions that some of you might be asking. Like Big Clive is tested with power banks. I'm going to tell you this question right now. Is if you have this, you turn this thing off, is this thing still providing power, even if it is only at a lower voltage up the power converter inside on? No, it doesn't. However, in that case, when this is turned off, the external wall wart would be powering the adapter right here, right through this port here. I'm trying to show you that. Okay, see the plug in the end, the red plug there. That could still power, and worse, when it's on, the boost converter inside will actually power up the small device plugged into the orange cord, even if it's plugged into the mains. And that may sound stupid, but actually that could be very useful. It does have protection for the battery. I'll just put this away here, and see, nice and neatly tucked away right around the edge. Kind of cool. It's not as advanced the way as some of the newer ones, but they like the CTEs, but it's more than sufficient for what I'm using it for. So when that comes, we will demonstrate that. We'll set it up because we're going to use it for a slightly different purpose than the BlackBerry or than the Raspberry Pi. But we will be using the Raspberry Pi 2, which right now is not set up. So we'll be using it instead as a feed to a small older Netgear router, because that way I can actually plug in the few legacy devices in my home that don't even have wireless at all, which is very few. There's like one, which is the Raspberry Pi 2, not the Raspberry Pi 3. Raspberry Pi 3 has that built in. Raspberry Pi 2 does not have that feature. Also, another one that might be a good candidate would be the eMac G4, which right now is not working right because it's got bad capacitors and needs to be recapped, and I don't want to go through all that work to fix something that literally is a giant boat anchor. If you've ever seen how heavy an eMac G4 is, it's old, it's crufty, it's slow, and frankly, it's heavy, literally. So yeah, you could use it as a boat anchor for a small rowboat. It will really seriously do it. Okay, so for now, I'm going to get ready to go to Soup Kitchen, and yes, I'll let you know near the end of the week. Oh, I know it's Thursday today, but how about this? I will tell you by Monday, when I have at least a couple of days of data under my belt, how well this is working. Oh, by the way, for those of you who wanted to know, can I take my SIM chip out of my BlackBerry and put it into my iPhone? The answer is yes, I can, but then I lose BIS, and then when I lose BIS, then I have to re-log in, I have to re-register for BIS, so I can access the BlackBerry information services and use BBM, which I am on BBM, believe it or not, just the one that knows that, right? Okay, so, for the time being, I'm going to let you go, and I'm getting up, so I'm pretty much just getting ready to get going to do my chores. So, talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.